Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It's Golem, that's Michael Fletcher, alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. And all right, so normally we do a lot of things on the show, and traditionally we start out with Smackdown Live, then we do AEW Rampage, and then we would shift, if there's a pay-per-view, we would shift into gears on the pay-per-view, then the preview, and we'll get into that tonight. However, the lineup was gonna change anyway. We were gonna do Rampage first, SmackDown second, and then Elimination Chamber last in our main event. But then we got ourselves a big announcement. One that we just could not hide from or push into the back burner. This had to be up front and center and at the beginning for the whole world to know. So that's what we're going to do right here, right now. Earlier this morning, around 10 or 11 a.m., word got out that the WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2022 was going to start to come to shape. And traditionally, as everybody knows, the induction ceremonies will happen on the week of WrestleMania. And this time around, we got ourselves a big one here. Today, we found out that the Phenom, The Undertaker, is the first inductee in the class of 2022. Now, traditionally, I would lead off on this. But because of the fact that we got a certain panelist that's been chomping at the bit all day for this moment, we are not going to let him waste away here and leave anything. So, with that said, Michael Bullock, front and center, you lead off. You were the one that broke the news. I feel you're the one that should lead us into this announcement. It's your guy, your favorite superstar in the history of WWE. He finally takes his rightful place among the icons and the immortals of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, what can you say? I mean, when the word got out this morning, I mean, I'm just so filled with emotions right now, knowing that my guy, The Undertaker, is the first inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2022. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. And obviously, we all knew that if they were going to do it, they had to do it, especially with WrestleMania being in his home state of Texas. And what can you say about The Undertaker? A 30-year career in WWE, but of course, before all that, he started his early career in professional wrestling. Of course, he really got going when he was as Mean Mark Callis with Paul Heyman. But of course, all three of us will never forget the date. November 22nd, 1990. We were all introduced to The Undertaker as he was the mystery partner of the $1 Million Team and introduced by Ted DiBiase. And then later on, The Undertaker's career really took off, and that was back in February of 1991 when The Undertaker was aligned with Paul Bearer. And then, of course, he won his very first WrestleMania, was against Superfly Jimmy Snuka. And that was the beginning of what was then known as the Streak. And then months later, he would go on to win his first ever WWE Championship against Hulk Hogan at the Survivor Series. And what can you say? I mean, we've seen so many great things from The Undertaker, and he's been in so many things. Hell in the Cell matches, casket matches, buried alive matches. He went up against so many of the all-time greats. As I mentioned, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, The Ultimate Warrior. So many names. I mean, it would take me an eternity to go through all the names. And of course, we'll never forget when the streak came to an end by Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, but his legacy continued on. And of course, his final match would turn out to be in a Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36 against the phenomenal AJ Styles. And of course, he had that documentary, The Undertaker, The Last Ride, and then that was when he officially announced his retirement. And of course, Survivor Series, the very event where he made his debut, that's where he had his final farewell. And I mean, he had so many gimmicks. I mean, of course, obviously, when he was the American Badass, but come on, guys, we'll always know him as the Dead Man, the Phenom. That's what we'll always know him as. I mean, and then when it comes to everything that he's done in his career, I mean, he is a 7-time world champion, 4-time WWE champion, a 3-time world heavyweight champion, a hardcore champion, a 6-time WWE tag team champion, a WCW champion, a 2007 Royal Rumble winner, and he won the Twig Mountain Trophy in 2020. He won a Slammy Award 15 times for Best Entrance Music in 97, Best Tattoo 1997, Match of the Year 5 times in 2009, 2010, 2012, 2015, and 2020. Moment of the Year, Most Intimidating in 94, the OMG Moment of the Year in 2011, kicking out of Triple H's Tombstone, the Rivalry of the Year in 2015 against Brock Lesnar, Greatest Hit, Moment of the Year in 2020, Documentary of the Year. I mean, so many accomplishments. But as I said, the streak was the biggest one, so yeah, what more can you say? I mean, an unbelievable career, and now it's going to come full circle now with him getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Now, it's not often that we only have just one inductee overall. And Florio, you know where I'm going with this one.
1993.
Andre the Giant.
Yep, 1993. Andre the Giant. The inaugural.
Yeah. And I think if there's any other person that should be the lone inductee, I think it should be this. I think this should be it. because the thing is, if you add anyone else, they're going to get overshadowed by The Undertaker. But we'll wait and see what happens. But that's just my personal opinion. And then all three of us agree with one thing and one thing only on who's going to induct The Undertaker. And that person is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. What a moment here. Congratulations, Undertaker, on being the first inductee into the Hall of Fame class. I mean, there's not going to be a dry eye in that crowd at the American Airlines Center Friday. No, including coming from yours truly. So it's going to be a memorable night, one that I think we'll all never forget. So there's really nothing more for me to say except, Fletch, I think I should just toss it to you now. And what can you say, Fletch? It's all come full circle, and now the dead man's taken his rightful place in the Hall of Fame. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. Well said, my friend. It's a big moment. If you're a Taker fan, if you're a fan of the Creatures of the Night, that was his loyal following, he deserves this moment. He is one of the most recognizable names in wrestling. You know, the minute you hear the gong, you know it's about to go down. Um, it is amazing. It's amazing what this moment means for all of us. I mean, and I have to say, it's going to be very telling what he's going to say in his induction speech that's going down very, very soon. But I will say this was a great moment. This was great news for all of us in the wrestling community to know that the Undertaker is going into the Hall of Fame. It is a long time coming. We were hoping sooner rather than later, but we finally get the moment he's going in. And Michael Bullock ran down the accolades. He ran down everything you need to know about the legacy and why Taker is a Hall of Famer. And it is definitely, without a doubt, the best thing for me, honestly. So I got nothing else to say. I think Michael Bullock pretty much said the whole thing. But Anthony Florio, I know you want to go semi-professor mode here, but you can go right on ahead. But I don't know if there's anything else that Michael Bullock did not add in his in what he was saying to honor the Undertaker more than anything else. But Taker will indeed take his rightful place as a Hall of Famer on April Fool's Day of all places on January 1.
April 1.
Yeah, April 1. So it's all yours.
And I think we see Bullock's square there. I think we can all see it. He posted a picture of him wearing this shirt this afternoon, and it's only fitting that he still has it on. And yeah, special moment indeed. And it's like MF said on that Strictly Sports show way back when. A day to remember, a night to remember, a moment to remember. And what else is there to say? I mean, so many of his peers from Triple H, absolutely no one has had as big an effect over as long of a career as Undertaker. He is the measuring stick of this industry, in and out of the ring, and now takes his well-deserved place in the Hall of Fame. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I know we don't have much time, but you can see all of the responses from certain superstars. I mean, Drew McIntyre posted a photo of him with The Undertaker at Survivor Series 2020. and current superstars, legendary superstars, and I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, like now, there was a tweet that was put out earlier today, and then Dave LaGreca and Mark Henry on the Busted Open Radio show today, they even went by the adage that the Undertaker, that they should base the Hall of Fame around only the Undertaker, have him go in solo with no one else. And I would love to see that. I certainly would. I mean, I doubt it, because I'm sure they're going to want to add some more folks. But the Hall of Fame is going to take place at 10:30 on that night. And what, with all due respect, MF, what I believe we should do is we should take that night off and not do a show on April 1, so we can take in the Hall of Fame induction ceremony as we always do, and then we can let Bullock have his big moment, and let him, because Bullock and I had a rare Smackdown chat tonight. We don't have Smackdown chats often much anymore, but we actually did have a rare one tonight. And one of the tweets that I came across said that they should have a one night. They should have this event be all about the Undertaker, and have certain legends come up on stage and share stories about him, like Vince McMahon, like Triple H, like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, Mick Foley, Brock Lesnar, even. But like Bullock said, there's only one man who can do the induction justice, and that is, like him or not, Vince McMahon. Especially have him introduce him as the Undertaker, as he always would do. And I'll tell you what, I mean, Bullock just listed, some of his notable accomplishments, from the days of the WWE. Bullock went down his, not quite his whole life story, but the Baltimore Sun newspaper gave him Feud of the Year against Batista in 2007, Best Match of the Decade in the 2000s versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25. That also won the Match of the Year in 2009, and the Match of the Year in 2010, Shawn Michaels, the career streak match at 26. CBS Sports, unfortunately, gave him the worst angle of the year in 2018 when he and Kane went up against Triple H and Shawn Michaels, which led to that awful match in Saudi Arabia. PWI Comeback of the Year in 2015. Feud of the Year in 1991 against The Ultimate Warrior. I don't really remember that feud, to be honest with you. Brock Lesnar, Feud of the Year 2015. Match of the Year against Mankind, Hell in a Cell, King of the Ring. He throws Mick Foley off the Hell in a Cell. Hey, Mick Foley told him to do it. Mick Foley said, throw me off the cell. Taker was very reluctant. He was very hesitant. He was like, I don't really want to do that. But he did it anyway. Little backstory there. Match of the Year, Shawn Michaels 25. Match of the Year, Shawn Michaels 26. Match of the Year, Triple H, End of an Era 28. PWI 500 in 2002. He came in at number 2 out of 500 and was ranked number 21 of the top 500 in the PWI years in 2003. United States Wrestling Association Unified World Heavyweight Champion. World Class Wrestling Association Texas Heavyweight Champion. 4-time WWE Champion. 3-time World Heavyweight Champion. Former Hardcore Champion. 6-time WWE Tag Team Champion. Twice with Kane. Twice with The Big Show. Once with Stone Cold. And once even with The Rock. And then he and Kane won the WCW Tag Team Championship during the Invasion angle. 2007 Royal Rumble winner. 2-8 Mountain Trophy in 2020, that Saudi Arabia show a couple years ago. Won the Undisputed Championship Contenders Tournament in April of 2002. 15-time Slammy Award winners. I mean, Michael Bullock ran down that list. Wrestling Observer newsletter, best gimmick from 90 to 94, best heel in 91, feud of the year with Batista in 07, match of the year with Shawn Michaels in 09 and 10, worst work match of the year in 01 with Kane against Chronic at Unforgiven, worst match of the year, the Saudi match in 2018 with Kane against Triple H and Shawn Michaels at Crown Jewel. 2001, believe it or not, he was voted most overrated. Same year, he was voted the reader's least favorite wrestler. Worst feud of the year, 1993 against the Giant Gonzalez. Yes, that was awful. Most disgusting promotional tactic, 2005. Involvement in a terrorist angle that aired on the day of the London bombings, and then inducted into the Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame in 2004. And also won what's called the Igor Award in 2000. I don't know what that is, but the streak, 21-0. That's never going to be done again. Don't matter who you are. The Shawn Michaels match, maybe the greatest of all time. Although End of an Era was right there with it. We consider that our greatest match in Mania history. And you think about all the history the man has made. I mean, all the titles that he won. WrestleMania 13, that iconic shot of him posing with the WWF Championship after he beat Psycho Sid. Earl Hebner was literally shaking as he gave the belt to him. And then at 23, Charles Robinson was shaking when was scared and afraid to even present The Undertaker with the World Heavyweight Championship after he won that. I mentioned that to Bullock earlier. But we could talk all night about this, but we got other things we got to get into. But nonetheless, congratulations to The Undertaker. Well-deserved. No surprise this was going to happen. I know they probably wanted to do it last year, but the thing is, COVID was still running rampant at the time, and they were in the dinky Thunderdome and all that other nonsense. It still saddens me that Survivor Series 2020, he had to do that beautiful farewell in that dinky Thunderdome, but at least 6 weeks from tonight on Friday night, April 1st, and it's going to air at 10:30 on that night. It's going to air 30 minutes after Smackdown goes off the air. So it's going to be a big night for those folks in Dallas. They're going to get to see the final Smackdown before WrestleMania. And on top of that, they're going to get to see the Hall of Fame induction ceremony with The Undertaker. And like I said, I mean, only Andre the Giant in 1993 was the only class in 1993. Every other class has had several people go in. But 1993, Andre the Giant was the only one. So, and Bullock said it. I mean, think about it. You could have all those legends come up on stage and share their favorite moments with him. And then Taker will give his speech, and there you go. But you got so many great options for who could induct him. I mean, Kane would be a good choice. Triple H would be a good choice. Shawn Michaels would be a good choice. Stone Cold would be a good choice. But to be realistic, the only one who can do it justice is Vince McMahon, whether you like him or not. And yeah, he did it for Stone Cold, didn't he? In 2009. And there's no doubt if he does it, he's gonna declare The Undertaker. I can already hear it. He's gonna say the greatest WWE superstar of all time. And then he'll introduce him as The Undertaker. And then the gongs, IWC pop, several elongated standing ovation, you deserve it chants, thank you Taker chants. There's not going to be a no damn dry eye in that house. So, as we always like to say, although Bullock, I think you're the one who really should do this. But you know where I'm going with this, as we always say. What do we always say?
To The Undertaker, thank you for the memories. Thank you for the inspiration. And thank you for The Undertaker. Hall of Famer.
Long fellow. Amen, brother. So what Bullock said, and some. So, and that, I mean, we can talk all night about it. So with that being said, it's hard to move on from such a beautiful moment. But
yeah,
we do have the moment, but a quick thought as to that little theory that Bullock and I had about him possibly going in by himself, although I don't see it happening.
I think, Anthony, if I remember correctly, in 1993, didn't Kerry Von Erich also go in with Andre the Giant?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Or was that 94?
No, Kerry Von Erich went in with the Von Erich family in 2009.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought Kerry went in on his own, like as
No.
a solo.
No,
Or maybe that might have been another Hall of Fame.
That had to be another Hall of Fame, but
because I remember there was a class, and I think it was only Giant and Von Erich, and they both went in '93.
No, Andre alone. And Bullock and I strongly feel that. I mean, I'd love to see it, but I got a feeling they're going to add people. But the thing is, it's listed. The Hall of Fame ceremony is listed as a 90-minute show. So I don't. I mean, they would have to. It would have to be like the last Hall of Fame ceremony. Limit the speeches to like maybe 3 to 5 minutes each, or unless you do it as a whole event for the Undertaker. Have all those legends come up and share their thoughts. Have Vince induct them. He comes out, big pop, emotion. You know the bit.
I mean, possibly. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. That's gonna be interesting. Well, we're gonna see. I don't believe he's going to be ahead. I don't think he's going to be going in just by himself. I do believe that someone else I kind of have a feeling like Taker will probably. I could see maybe 3 or 4 go in, but Taker will get the lion's share. Like at least give him at least a half an hour.
He'll be the headliner. He'll be the headliner.
Yeah, he will be the headliner, no doubt. But I would probably say Taker gets at least a half an hour of the time, and then just split the 20 minutes on whoever the remaining 3 would be. So I don't know. We'll wait and see how this plays out. This is going to be wild. But we got some business we need to attend to. Now we go to AEW Rampage, starting it off with Preston Vance, number 10, going up one-on-one with Adam Cole. And Adam Cole wins the match in 9 minutes and 52 seconds. Solid opener, good matchup, good battle here. Really solid wrestling, to say the very least, but it wasn't really anything overly spectacular. It was good. It was solid. 3 stars, Anthony, go.
Yeah, Preston Vance hasn't had a big match on TV in what feels like a few months, so it was nice to see him get a chance to show off what he can do against a guy as high profile as Adam Cole. One of the nice things about AEW is that even when you know who is going to win based on the competitors involved, the matches still feel competitive most of the time. Squash matches are used for certain people, but it's not that common in AEW. This was Vance's strongest showing in months, and Cole was generous with his selling to make him look as good as possible. This was just a good, fun match from start to finish. It had a dirty finish, but at least it wasn't due to interference. I'll give it 3 to 3.25 stars, but let's not forget about the big announcement from AEW's end. Revolution, guys. Adam Cole is going to be challenging Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Any chance we get a new champ, or is it still too soon to take it off Hangman? I don't know. So 3 to 3.25. Michael Bullock, Phenom, come on in. There was no doubt Adam Cole was going to win. I mean, it was predictable, but still a much more competitive match than we thought. And now it's onward and upward to Revolution for Adam Cole as he goes into the biggest match of his career against the Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, I thought it was a fine match. I mean, a good match for what it was. 3.25, and yeah, this obviously gives Adam Cole some momentum going into the AEW World Title match against Adam Hangman Page. So, we'll see how it all plays out at Revolution. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right. And then the next thing that we did have on the fight card here, We had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. The winner earns a spot in the face of the Revolution ladder match. Powerhouse Hobbs wins it in 9 minutes and 29 seconds. He now joins the Limitless one, Keith Lee, in that matchup. And I do believe Warlow also got through. So Anthony Florio, we got some beef going into that matchup. Keith Lee, Warlow, and now Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh boy.
Gorilla, Monsoon, let me just say it like this. Hope those ladders are reinforced.
Oh my God. I'm a little afraid with the ladders, especially with big boys like that going up. I think those, in the past, Mark Henry had an issue with the ladders because didn't the rungs used to break on a regular ladder for him? So they needed like a special big boy ladder for him?
Big Show.
Big Show.
That's who you're thinking of. Big
Yeah.
Show. Big Show had that specially reinforced big boy ladder for those Money in the Bank matches about 10 years or so ago. But anyways, this is another 3 to 3.25 star match. I'm a little surprised by this outcome. I would have thought they would have had Dante Martin win because of his high flying ability. And I do mean high flying ability. That kid is so fun to watch, I'm telling you. But every time AEW gives Dante Martin a chance to shine, he knocks it out of the park. He's one of those people who seems to have some secret knowledge that allows him to defy gravity. However, Powerhouse Hobbs looked just as good in this match. He has explosive speed for a man his size and knows how to use it perfectly. Both of these guys have grown by leaps and bounds over the last year. It would have been nice to see Darius back with Dante, but AEW, I believe, is saving his return for a bigger moment. But 3 to 3.25 stars. Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, I mean, we have only big men in this Face of the Revolution ladder match, and you don't have to ask the question, where's the beef?
Oh, the beef is definitely going to be in this Face of the Revolution ladder match, and yeah, I mean it could go either way, but 3.25 stars. I'm with you on that one. Another good solid match here, so nothing more to add to it. So Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll say about 3 stars. Solid match. Really nothing more to say. We go into the next match. It was Serena Deeb versus Angelina Risk. Serena Deeb wins the match in 2 minutes and 3 seconds. We really don't need to talk about this one. Main event, Trent Beretta going one-on-one against Switchblade Jay White. Jay White wins the match 15 minutes and 10 seconds. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
This was obviously the fight of the night, hands down. I'll give it about maybe 3.5 stars. I thought this was a very good match here and a good first showing for Jay White in AEW. So yeah, I mean, and I think after the match, I mean, a little face to face with Orange Cassidy. So it looks like Orange Cassidy is next on Jay White's hit list. So we'll have to wait and see. 3.5 stars. Fletch, good first showing for Jay White, even though you can't stand the guy.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good showing. I think it was about 3.5, 3 3/4 fight of the night, no doubt about it. Solid matchup. I just don't know if I would think it would be better than what he did, but I enjoyed it. I loved what it was a nice surprise. It was a nice jump off for him. Really nothing more to add. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I know MF doesn't like the guy, but he's starting to grow on me. I'm telling you, he really is. I mean, from what I saw of him in Impact Wrestling, which, oh, by the way, he'll be involved in that Impact Wrestling special event tomorrow night, No Surrender, on Impact Plus when he goes one-on-one with Eric Young. So I'll definitely have something to say about that Monday night on Ridiculously Raw, my Tony Steak. Special Tony Steak, by the way, as I'm going to only do the Impact Plus show. I'm not going to do any of the other shows, even though we have a new show replacing 205 Live. It's called NXT Level Up. So it's taking the place of 205 Live as of tonight. So, but anyways, This was the fight of the night. I'm going to give it 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. The history between so many people who have worked together in WWE and New Japan has helped AEW build storylines quickly by drawing from that background. So matches like this have more weight to them than they would if AEW ignored all those previous encounters. As expected, whether MF likes him or not, Jay White looked great in his AEW in-ring debut. He is one of those people who wrestles with an extra level of confidence. Everything he does has a little extra shine to it. He and Trent Beretta worked well together to create an entertaining exchange. Bookending this show with Adam Cole and Jay White victories makes the Elite look as strong as ever moving forward. And there's really not much more to say. So 3.5 to 3.75. Let's get to the overall review.
All right, I'll lead off on the overall review. Yeah, this was a solid show. This was a very good show for AEW Rampage. I think there was only one bad match altogether. 8.5 for me. Simple call here. Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed. 8.5. This was a strong episode of Rampage, even without any major surprises. Main event was the fight of the night. Jay White and Trent Beretta. Adam Cole and Preston Vance. 10 had a very solid match, as did Powerhouse Hobbs and Dante Martin. The only bad match was the Serena Deeb squash of Angelica Risk, not Angelina Risk. It's Angelica Risk. Someone you would see on like Dark or Elevation, whatever. So, not much more for me to say. Solid 8 for me. Bullock, take this home, and then we'll get into SmackDown.
Yeah, 8.5 for me. I mean, I thought this was a solid AEW Rampage here. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. But let's get on to Friday Night SmackDown.
All right, we go into Friday Night SmackDown. There was a promo segment that started the show, as it was Sonya Deville, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, and Naomi, as they were doing the contracts for the tag team match that was going to happen at Elimination Chamber. There was a talk about there was a big botchamania moment, but they did edit that out tonight. We're not going to talk about it. What we will talk about is a match: Ricochet versus Sheamus, and Ricochet wins the match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Holy upset! I mean, look, give Ricochet a lot of love here. This was a major victory for him, and I don't know. I think this was kind of a mistake by Ridge Holland. Kind of cost, Ridge Holland kind of got in the way here. And maybe Sheamus might be setting up a face turn. I don't know. But one thing for sure, give it up for Ricochet, man. What a win. Huge win for him, man. Probably one of the biggest wins since when he became the United States Heavyweight Champion. Anthony, Ricochet, a 3-star victory over Sheamus.
Yes, indeed. 3.5 stars for me. This was the second best fight of the night. I thought there was one match that was actually better. Ricochet and Sheamus are not going to have a bad match. They have consistently shown up and shown out anytime they have shared the ring, and this was no different. A fantastic match that highlighted each competitor's strengths. It proved their ability to steal the show, even when there is a decided lack of creative behind them. The most interesting development, besides Ricochet's newfound winning streak, was the tease of a split between Sheamus and Ridge Holland. If that is the direction things are heading, it is almost certainly a bad thing for the younger competitor, who has appeared to still need seasoning as an in-ring performer before he can really hang with the competitors he has been paired with since his call-up. But I'm going to give this a solid 3.5 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. And Michael Bullock, I mean, we talked about this during our SmackDown chat tonight. I mean, big win for Ricochet, but the developments in the post-match, I mean, Sheamus going off on Ridge Holland after Ridge Holland cost him the match with a little botcharoo there. So not much more for me to say. So Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this this was a 3.5 star match. I mean, I thought it was a good match, but yeah, Ricochet with a huge victory over Sheamus here, and yeah, the big development with the possible rift between Sheamus and Ridge Holland. So yeah, that was shocking. So I'm interested to see what happens the rest of the way if they go through with this breakup. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, we will indeed move on. And the next thing that we had after that big moment is that we had Jimmy Uso versus Ivar. Ivar wins the match via disqualification, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Then we get ourselves into the next match of the evening, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship match, as it was Sami Zayn going up against the reigning champion Shinsuke Nakamura, the winner of the bout, in 18 minutes, 15 seconds, and new Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. Anthony Florio, it is yours. History has been made. Michael Bullock, your worst nightmare came true, bro. Lame Duckman is IC champ again. Florio.
And we could be in for an even bigger nightmare come WrestleMania, which we'll address in just a moment. Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn have had some classic matches in the past, most notably NXT TakeOver Dallas 2016. And while this may not have been up to the level of those, it was still a fun, competitive, physical match that replaced raw athleticism with in-ring psychology. Zayn targeting the knee helped take his opponent's greatest weapon away from him and led to a clever finish that may not have been explosive, but was in line with the story that preceded it. Nakamura deserved a greater title reign than he received, but this was a reminder to the world that there is more to him than a great theme song and a super charismatic sidekick in Rick Boogs. With that said, the title is in the right hands as Zayn is red hot and doing some of the best work of his entire career. I will give this a good 4.25, teetering on 4.5. This was, to me, the fight of the night, whether you like the outcome or not. And I said this may lead to an even bigger nightmare come WrestleMania. I mean, it's bad enough that Lame Duck Man holds the gold, but there is a rumor going around that Sami Zayn could defend the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania against Johnny Knoxville. God forbid if this is true. And God forbid if they give the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship to Johnny Knoxville, it would be exactly like WCW giving David Arquette the World Heavyweight Championship. We all know that. So, God forbid if that happens. And if that does happen, you would literally spit on the legacy of the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, a title that I hold very near and dear to my heart. You've seen me show off the classic Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship belt that I have in my collection of championship belts. And God forbid, I mean, you think about all the great Intercontinental title matches in WrestleMania history. Of course, the greatest one, Randy Macho Man Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. The ladder match with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Bret Hart, WrestleMania 8. Shawn Michaels and Tatanka at WrestleMania 9. I could go on and on. I mean, that triple threat from 34 with Rollins, Miz, and Balor. But God forbid, if it's Zayn and Knoxville for that title, and especially if Knoxville wins it, God forbid. That is all I'm going to say. So, I mean, it would be stupid. It would be inconsiderate. And it would be damn insulting to a title that I have very high respect and regards for. Period. And a statement and a quotation. This was, however, the fight of the night, though. 4.25, teetering on 4.5. Great match. So, little mini rant over Michael Bullock. How do you follow that?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to follow that, but yeah, I mean, this was the fight of the night, 4.25 to 4.5. I mean, no doubt. I mean, this was a great match. I mean, it's not compared to some of the other matches they had, especially that NXT Takeover, but this was still a good match. But yeah, Johnny Knoxville, Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. Ugh, that's not what I want to see. And if they put the title on him, ooh, this would be the ultimate insult to that title. And then I'm going to have to bring back something that we used to say on the wrestling forum when it comes to the Intercontinental title. And Flora, you know where I'm going with this.
Title would be devalued in a joke, like we used to do in those.
No, something else we used to say. That Intercontinental title meant so much 15 years ago. What does it mean now?
Not a damn thing if that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. I mean, it was about a 4.25, 4.5 stars. I cannot believe that happened. Yeah, I was shocked. I was stunned that was that Sammy won the title and the way he won it. I mean, over Nakamura, man. I mean, that was a great matchup, very good matchup, one of the best we've seen in a long time. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. But there's really nothing. There's really nothing to say. So yeah, it happened. Uh, Main event was Roman Reigns cutting a promo with Paul Heyman. Of course, you have Goldberg, and look, they did pretty good with the way that. Actually, Michael Bullock, you lead off on this one. So Bullock, Goldberg, Roman Reigns, their last kind of square off before we get to the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I thought this was a solid promo to close out the show. I mean, obviously, you want to build some momentum for each of these guys going into that Universal title match between these two. So, yeah, so I thought it was well done. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was solid. I thought it was good. It was a nice hype. It was a nice hype at the end. I don't think there's really anything else to say, but I will say this: at the end of the night, it was solid. It was good. I it was one of those great moments. So I thought they did a fine with it. Promo segments can be a little interesting, especially with Goldberg. You never know. Roman's always good. Heyman is the best. And Goldberg held his own. So I thought this was good. This wasn't really a face to face more than anything else, but hopefully they'll give us something good when it comes to Elimination Chamber. We'll get into that preview in just a little bit. But until then, Anthony, it's yours.
Like most Goldberg matches in this new century, this was short and amounted to little. Paul Heyman was great, Roman Reigns was a star, and Goldberg still presents an imposing presence. It's just unfortunate that a match that fans have been waiting for since 2020 was reduced to such an ineffective, uneventful final bit of hype. So that's really all I can say on it. So I don't think the match is going to be anything really special, but you never know. But I'm not holding my breath on it. So not much more to say. Let's get to the overall review.
Overall review, look, 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. I think they did a good job. This was a good go home show. Good go home show for SmackDown. You did cover a lot of ground for Elimination Chamber. Plus, we also got the shock of a new Intercontinental Champion. Whenever a title changes hands, Um, and in any event, it's always a big deal. So, and especially for it to be the IC title, whoa, hello, wait a minute, time out. This was amazing. For me, payoff, excellent. 7 to 7.5. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, 7.5. I mean, we had two very good matches. The last segment was all right, and the opening segment could have been. I mean, the opening segment was okay as well. We only had maybe one or two bad matches and one bad segment, but the two matches were really good, especially Zayn and Nakamura. That was one of the best IC title matches I've seen in a long time. And I mean, I don't know what else there is for me to say. And they added the stipulation to the Ronda Rousey match, which we're going to get to, which is the most ridiculous and asinine stipulation I've seen in a while. So, but we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, 7.5. Bullet, quick thought, and then we'll get into the chamber.
Yeah, 7 to 7.5 for me. I thought this was a good show. I mean, the matches were, some of them were like good to great, and the promo segments were fine. So nothing more to say. Fletch, let's quickly get into our Elimination Chamber preview.
All right, and we will indeed do it. It's time for the Elimination Chamber. Like I said, guys, this is going to be so unique and so different from the chamber matches or the chamber event in the past because, guys, yeah, it's happening. We're going to do it, and it's going to happen tomorrow night. It's going to happen on, in the afternoon, tomorrow afternoon, and we will be live from Saudi Arabia. That's where this show is going to be held. And oh my goodness, the chamber event. Well, here we go, guys. This is going to be a very interesting night, to say the very least. It's going to be in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and this one's going to be held at the Jeddah Superdome. So the Jeddah Superdome in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And here we go, guys. We got the fight card. We start off with Rey Mysterio going one-on-one with The Miz. This is tough. This one's tough. I kind of feel like this is gonna be, I think it's gonna be an interesting matchup. I think at the end of the day, I kind of feel like it. You kind of, I don't know. I don't know if I should go with The Miz. I don't know if I should go with Rey Mysterio. All I know is that it's gonna be an interesting evening. Let's just say that. I'll go with Ray. I'll go with I'll go with I'm gonna go with Ray to win it. So Anthony, it's yours.
And Meth, you're right. It's a low stakes matchup that can really go either way. The Miz is coming off repeated losses to Edge and needs some revitalization. The fans will always be there for Mysterio whenever he steps in the ring. The heel needs to get strengthened up ahead of WrestleMania, so Miz could get the win in this one. On the other hand, between Mysterio's role as the cover star for WWE's upcoming WWE 2K22 video game and the appetite to have popular names loaded onto the WrestleMania 38 card, you could expect Mysterio to get the nod over the Miz to build some momentum for him on the road to WrestleMania. But this is definitely a tough one to call here. I mean, I could see Ray winning. I could. But at the end, Miz could get it as well. But then again, I think Miz did get over. I mean, the build of this has been a little hokey, but at the same time, I'm gonna take a chance, and I could see Miz winning by nefarious means, like a Maurice or something like that, or something. But if Ray wins, I wouldn't at all be surprised. I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go with the Miz here. So Bullock, who you got? Who do you agree with?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Miz here. I mean, I got a feeling he's gonna win through some various means, and you need to give him some momentum going into WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Miz here. So, Fletch, let's move on.
Women's tag team match: Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus Sonya Deville and Charlotte Flair. But there was a special caveat on this one. Partially a little ridiculous, but it was Sonya Deville that requested this one. Ronda Rousey has to wrestle with one arm tied behind her back. Anthony, yours.
Asinine, ridiculous stipulation. I mean, but what do you expect with Sonya running things? But regardless, I mean, both parties could use a win at the Elimination Chamber. Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville benefit from having a leg up over the heroes heading into WrestleMania. Naomi needs a victory sooner or later after being undermined by Deville at every turn. And Rousey only just returned from a 3-year layoff. WWE has rolled out the red carpet for Ronda Rousey thus far, and I don't expect her to lose her first singles or tag team match since 2019. Should the villains emerge victorious, Naomi will almost certainly eat the pinfall. But I predict Rousey to have her hand raised once again. So I'm going to say Ronda Rousey and Naomi get the win here. They'll find a way to work around that ridiculous stipulation. So, Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey and Naomi as well. I mean, they're gonna find a way to win with this. I mean, despite the ridiculous stipulation, but like you said, what else would you expect from Sonya Deville trying to get a leg up on the team? So, nothing more to say. Fletch, it's yours.
All right, guys. I actually agree with you. I think it's going to be Ronda Rousey and Naomi winning the match. I don't think there's really much for us to add on that one. So, all right. Here we go. We're going to get into this next one. I'm just going to get this one out of the way, too. Falls count anywhere. Drew McIntyre versus Cat Moss. I think we're all in agreement. McIntyre wins. So, we're just going to leave that one out on an island. Next up, we have this one we need to get into. Mike Bullock, you lead off on this one. Smackdown tag team titles on the line. The Usos versus the Viking Raiders. It's yours.
Yeah, I think this should be a good match here. But based on what we saw here tonight on SmackDown, I think the choice is obvious. I'm going to go with the Usos to retain the SmackDown tag team titles, and I think they're going to do it in some nefarious way as well. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, I say the champs stay the champs.
Yeah, I honestly think so too. It's gonna be very interesting to see. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those type of matchups, one of those type of colleagues, or I think the Usos are gonna win it. I think the Usos are gonna win it. So there's really nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
The Viking Raiders might as well still be thawing. They are ice cold title challengers with zero momentum since winning a tag team gauntlet to earn their contender status. They've been winning plenty of 6-man dark tag matches against the Usos, but those are not televised and don't really count. On camera, they've been beaten in the ring, backstage, and on the microphone week after week by the Usos. Jimmy and Jay have this one in the bag. Winners and still SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos. Next match.
All right, we do indeed move on to the next match. And this one is going to be for the Raw Women's Championship. It will be the man, Becky Lynch, going up against Lita. This is going to be an excellent matchup. I think everybody really knows it's going to be a solid match. But at the end, I got to go with Becky Lynch to successfully defend the title. So I really got nothing more to say. So Becky wins it. Anthony, it's yours.
Becky Lynch is the woman WWE wants in a main event level match at WrestleMania 38. Lita getting a match is nice and all, but she's not going to lead a major program ahead of the biggest event of the year. Lita has not wrestled a singles match since Survivor Series 2006 against Mickie James. Aside from a 2012 bout with Heath Slater on Raw 1000 that went less than 2 minutes and doesn't really count as an actual wrestling match, Becky Lynch is a sure thing, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Winner and still Raw Women's Champion, rather. The man, big time Becky Lynch. So, Bullock, make it unanimous.
Yep, I'm making it unanimous. I mean, this comeback story for Lita has been something here, but I just don't think it's going to end well for her. So, winner and still the Raw Women's Champion, the man, big time Becky Lynch. Let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up that we have on the fight card, the Universal title on the line, as it will be Bill Goldberg challenging the reigning champion Roman Reigns. I believe this goes to Anthony Florio. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Roman Reigns' title reign lately has completely run out of steam, aside from getting to the next Lesnar bout. With no compelling challengers left and heading to Saudi Arabia, WWE got up to their old tricks, calling in Bill Goldberg to give him a title shot based on nothing more than him demanding it happen. It's not interesting, but the Saudi shows tend to get old stars in featured spots, and Goldberg had a match left on his contract. There's really no doubt Reigns will retain here, but who could possibly care? Goldberg is a means to an end. His role at the Elimination Chamber is to sell tickets, keep Roman busy, and build the champion's momentum heading into a big ticket match against Brock Lesnar. Reigns should win this decisively and focus on his main event WrestleMania program with Brock Lesnar. So, winner and still the Universal Champion, your tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. 2 years too late. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, 2 years too late indeed. So, yeah, I'm with you. I got Roman Reigns retain the title. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Roman Reigns as well. I think he'll successfully defend the title, so there's really nothing more to add. All right, we're down to 2, and it's the Elimination Chamber matches. The women's to determine the number 1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship and will receive a title match at WrestleMania. The participants are Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and the latest addition, Alexa Bliss. Michael Bullock, you lead off.
Yeah, I think this should be a good match here. And basically, I mean, Alexa Bliss being added, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, she is, one of the people we thought was going to get added to it. So, this is a tough one for me. I mean, part of me wants to see Bianca Belair win and challenge Becky Lynch, but I got this funny feeling that I think Alexa Bliss is going to win this one. So I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with Alexa Bliss to win this one. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So, Fletch, it is yours.
I disagree, Michael Bullock. I'm sorry. I think it's Bianca Belair. I think we all are basically in an agree. Well, I think me and Anthony were thinking about it the whole way through. We're thinking it's Bianca. It's Bianca. There's no way. But maybe it's Alexa. I don't know if it would be her. If Alexa wins it, it's the biggest turnaround in her entire career. There's no way you can say that from where she was to get thrusted into the spotlight at WrestleMania. Oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah. So I'm gonna go with Bianca, but I would be shocked if Alexa wins it. Yeah. So Anthony, it's yours.
It would be nice to think WWE was planning this far ahead when they had Becky Lynch squash Bianca Belair in 26 seconds to win the Smackdown Women's Championship from her at SummerSlam, knowing they'd have Bianca win in the Elimination Chamber and gain her revenge on the big stage. I doubt there was much planning put into that at all. Instead, it's a happy coincidence that Bianca Belair has a clear path to a rematch at WrestleMania, where she's proven herself capable of handling the biggest stage possible. See last year against Sasha. Rhea Ripley, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, and Liv Morgan are all spent as challengers to Becky Lynch, which leaves it down to Alexa Bliss and Bianca Belair. And I believe Belair is the better choice. And besides, I've been going on and on about Bianca winning, all this time, and I'd be damned if I go back now. But I agree with them. I'm going to go with MF on this one. The winner of the Elimination Chamber and moving on to WrestleMania 38 for a Raw Women's Championship match, the EST, Bianca Belair. She made history last year. I say she'll make history again this year. So there's nothing more for me to say. I've been preaching Bianca all the way. I'd be damned if I went against that now. But Alexa definitely does concern me. But I'm going to go with Bianca Belair anyway. I'm going to keep it going. But if Alexa wins, I would not at all be surprised. But MF, I'm going with you. I'm going with Bianca. I've been preaching it this whole time. I'm not going against it now. So, and now let's get to the main event, the big one.
Yeah, the main event for the WWE Championship, the champion Bobby Lashley going up against Brock Lesnar, Seth freaking Rollins, Austin Theory, Riddle, and AJ Styles. Michael Bullock has indeed left, unfortunately, guys, but he did say that he's got Brock Lesnar winning the match. I could see Brock winning this, but I'm actually going to go with the wild card here. I'm going to go with Seth freaking Rollins because of the fact that a lot of people said that they felt like Seth should have been Universal Champion. I think he might be pushed for a WWE title match. Now, there was rumors about maybe Riddle getting an upset win here to give him back the win at Royal Rumble. Because remember, before Brock Lesnar won it, there was rumors of Riddle winning the Royal Rumble and fighting for the WWE Championship.
That's correct.
So maybe Riddle gets the win here, and maybe they set up Riddle versus Orton at WrestleMania. Now, that would be an interesting match. And, of course, obviously, if you give it to Bobby Lashley, maybe that sets him up for maybe a rematch with Big E. But remember, Big E's now on SmackDown. You can't do that anymore.
Nope.
So the only thing I could think of is either A, Brock wins it all, and you got title for title. B, Rollins wins it all, and you set up maybe Rollins versus whoever. I heard rumors maybe it could be Cody Rhodes. Cody versus Seth, WWE title at WrestleMania. Or Riddle wins it. He goes one-on-one with Orton, and that's for the WWE title. I don't know, guys. This is tough. Those are the three I would be pinpointing on right now. So I do believe we will have a new champion when this is all said and done.
Agreed.
Oh boy, who do I pick? I can't pick. I think it's going to be one of the three. Anthony, help me here. It's yours.
Oh, I'm going to help you, big boy. I'm going to help you here right now. While I know not just me, but everybody around the world is praying for a different outcome, it's very hard to imagine Brock Lesnar not leaving the chamber as WWE champion. One of the biggest criticisms of WWE in the modern era is the sense that only a handful of wrestlers on an incredibly deep and talented roster truly matter. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are in that small group, and WWE has gone back to its old standby of Lesnar versus Reigns as WrestleMania main event. This would be the third time. They did it at 31, and they did it at 34. They're doing it again here. In doing so, they backed themselves into a corner of needing to find a way to make this quote-unquote bigger than ever. A title versus title unification match gets that job done, even if the rest of the roster suffers for it. Now, we're all for long-term booking and storytelling. Unfortunately, that occasionally leaves surprise and mystery as collateral damage. WWE has made it abundantly clear that a champion versus champion title for title unification bout between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns will headline WrestleMania 38, I believe, night 2, while Ronda and Charlotte headline night 1. Brock Lesnar will win the title inside the chamber. So, winner and new WWE champion for me. There's only one way to go, MF. The Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. End of story.
Yeah. We're done. Thank you so much, guys. As always, thank you for this incredible evening. Thank you, Anthony Flair. Thank you, Michael Bullock. And thank you, guys. Sunday night, we'll be back for the recap of Elimination Chamber. I believe we'll probably do it about 10-ish. And then we do it all over again. Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. Wednesday Night Mayhem. We will do Strictly Sports on Thursday. The show that we were supposed to do last night, we'll do it on Thursday. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again with Cerebral Smack Talk back at our original 11 p.m. schedule. Until then, have a good night, everybody. So long for now. Enjoy the Elimination Chamber tomorrow.
Goodbye.